Pencil First Games Day.
Ba-ba-ba-ba.
The first annual event.
So, hey, everybody. I expect people are going to start filtering in. But this is a cool, awesome, amazing look at Maul Peak and the progress we have made thus far. If you're part of the Skull Call Kickstarter or the BGG page or the community page, we've been doing a number of print and plays for the Guardians that we've been adding. But these have since moved very far along from those print and plays, and you can get an idea of how far along we are. So I want to give a couple minutes, even just one or two, for a few more people to drop in before going through and starting to explain everything. But yeah, I'm excited. We this is hot off the presses. Keith was updating a lot of this last night, and Sebastian and Dustin and the whole team pulling together the different elements here. So if there's a mistake or something missing, we apologize. It probably means I wasn't organized and I missed the point.
I put all the blame on myself. So keep in mind, this is like a hodgepodge of prototype and near final stuff. So you will see stuff that is like not the greatest looking, but some kind of alongside with stuff that does look amazing. So
yeah, for sure. Like, there's a ton in work and still being adjusted, but this is, a lot of this is coming along, right? Like when we're looking at Trovac here and Gnarl, this is pretty final, or Saboso, who's this awesome. So these guys are looking great. So right. In front of me, I don't really have, when I'm looking at the Tabletopia, I'm not seeing the questions and comments from folks. Keith, can you happen to see them, or let me see if I can bring it up on.
I can see the comments.
Okay, good. So you can switch back without creating like the infinite time loop, right?
Yeah.
All right. So if anything good comes up, let me know.
I don't think I can comment, but I can see the comments.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to like type, but like if somebody asked a question.
Yeah.
Cool. And what we can do is go through it. We have about an hour. We can go through it, and then we can always just walk back and answer questions.
Right.
So if you're not familiar, there's this game called Skull Hollow, which went to Kickstarter 2 years ago and released last October. And in Skull Hollow, you're playing as Foxen heroes against these gigantic guardians. And it's a 2-player asymmetric game where one side's the Foxens, the other the guardian, but you're playing on a 3x3 grid and working across, and the Foxen win by killing the guardian, and the guardians win by either a win condition of theirs or taking out the Foxen leader. What's sort of novel about that game, it's very Shadow of the Colossus inspired, among other games, but there's this idea of you're sort of moving in this pretty limited space, but then you're climbing on top of the gigantic guardian and disabling abilities.
Sure.
So
Giggles is asking if this is a co-op or competitive game. So Skull Hollow was competitive. Maul Peak is also competitive. And I'm sure Ed will get into the details. There's these two games. Do they work together at all? I think Ed has the answer to that one.
Yes, I do. And yes, it's absolutely competitive. This is a from the ground up 2-player head-to-head game that's meant to be a bunch of little guys fighting a gigantic monster. And so essentially, if you're familiar with Skull Hollow, what we did with Maul Peak, rather than doing a couple Guardian updates or a faction update, which might have been the sensible approach, Maul Peak is a completely standalone product, which occurs in Maul Peak, which is this mountain, and one side are the Grizzar or bears, and the other side are 4 new Guardians, which I'm going to be shifting around here, but we've got Weblin, Gigantic Spider. We have Trovac and Gnarl, which is a 2-unit Guardian combo. This Major Guardian and her Chainling. And then we have Saboso, who's just this gigantic, marshmallow character, but like evil with a gigantic stomach. And then we have the 4-headed Quagga Hydra. And they're facing off against these bears. And so the super neat thing, though, is while it is standalone, it's fully compatible with Skull Hollow. So you can take the Foxen and fight the new Guardians, or take the Bears and fight the old Guardians, or you can combine both games and have two like head versus head battle royale size where the Bears and the Foxen team up to take on two Guardians, which is just like insanity, but it works really well and it's pretty cool actually. But so alone, it's a 2-player game. Together, it's a 2-player game that you also can play with 3 or 4 players in that sort of 2-on-2 format. But most people have only seen hints of this and not really gotten a good explanation on how it works. So the hope here is to walk through, give everyone like an idea of how the Bears work, and they're totally different than Foxen, and how the Guardians work just generally at a high level. And then I think Keith and I are going to go at it. I will note, he's like, I win. I guess not. I will note that, you're looking at stuff at a variety of levels of doneness. And because this is Tabletopia, and because there's a lot of snow on the ground, everything's a bit blown out. It doesn't look like that at all in print, but we didn't like color correct and manage all of it. So actually what you see here, as cool as it looks, is nowhere as cool as it will look once we are finally done. And this will be a Kickstarter next year, much like Skull Hollow was a Kickstarter. So I think we should just dive in. For the Bears, Keith, I mean, I can do it, but Keith, do you want to give a little overview of how the Bears work in comparison to...
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, the assumption is a little bit that you know how the Foxes play, but I can kind of highlight some of the differences specific to the Bears. So the Foxes primarily use power to kind of, run their kind of engine. The Grizzar have a new currency called Rage. And then the Foxes, the units that you spawn onto the board are part of your deck that you're going to draw. Whereas in the Grizzar, the units are actually outside of the deck. So they're always you don't have to go searching for them in your deck, but they're always available. But they have a summoning cost, and that cost is in Rage, which is in that red box with the white text.
As you're talking, I'm highlighting these
right,
things.
Yeah. So that the Mage cost 5 Rage to summon. So that's some of the big difference. The win condition. So the Foxes, to win, they had to destroy the Guardian, and that holds true here as well. But now the Grizzar have a new kind of lose condition that basically, if they don't have any units in play, they lose. And once their units are dead, they don't come back. So in the Foxes, they cycle back through the deck and like, hey, I start out with my Sentinel and I can get my Sentinel out again, no big deal. In this one, when you lose your Mage, he's not coming back until you play your rematch game later.
Yeah. The big difference here is, whereas the cycling of the Foxes in the deck, here you are summoning from your den these 5 other Bears, and if they get killed, they're out. So they're thicker, stronger units, but you won't be cycling them like you did in Skull Hollow, which makes just for dramatically different play. But wait, there's more off here on the right.
So along with the Grizzar, the Bears, you also have the choice of a spirit animal that spawns at the very beginning of the game, along with your chieftain. And there are 6 different spirit animals available. They all have different special abilities, and it's kind of like your tag-along guy. He's got some special power. Those powers are fueled by the rage that you accumulate. So this is kind of this interesting decision of like, do I want to save up rage so I can summon guys? Do I want to use my rage to kind of use my spirit animal's ability? And they all do kind of interesting things, although simple. And obviously the deck for the Grizzar is a lot different than the Fox one, because there's no units in there, so it's all action cards. So the Bear deck is actually significantly smaller than the Foxen deck. Which means that you have more ideas actually as to what's coming than you do when you play the Foxes. they have a new ability called Magic, which is kind of the bear's version of ranged attacks. And some of the new units use that. So the mage can use it to basically do a ranged attack anywhere in the board. Super powerful, but the mage is also the most expensive unit to get out. So that's the trade-off there. And I think the shaman can use it to get more rage. So the shaman's using magic. And there's also kind of an interesting, I don't know what the word is, but one of the cheapest unit you have is the elder, and so the elder is really nice because she makes the spirit animal's ability cheaper. So if you've got the elder around, then your spirit animal is actually more powerful. It's kind of nice.
Right.
So when we were playing foxes, you had to choose one of the 4 leaders, and you always had the sentinel. Now with the bears, you always have the chieftain, and you pick from one of the 6 spirit animals to play with.
And the chieftain is not a leader. I mean, maybe the chieftain's a chieftain, but he doesn't. The idea of leaders and banding and that kind of concept from the foxes doesn't exist here. So once you start bringing other units, he's not. If he dies, it's not the end of the game. It's that you have your other bears that are coming in to fight.
Right. Well, the foxes. As soon as the leader was dead, then the foxes lost. Here, the chieftain dies. As long as there's another another unit in play, everything keeps going, right? So it's a different kind of a feel to it for sure.
Now, in terms of the board, the layout is similar. Again, you can mix and match it with Skulk Hollow. So this is, for the most part, a different look and feel. And like the original, there's the dotted line version we have here, and then there's the not dotted line, right? I think that's a pretty good overview of the bears. They're sluggish, or they hibernate, so they don't go first. I think the other important note is, instead of prepare, which is that discard 1, draw 2, from Skulk Hollow, the Foxen, they have intensify, which is it's discard a card and either add a rage token to the pool, or draw a card. So it's more versatile, but not quite as powerful on the card draw side of things.
Right.
So if we switch over, and again, we're gonna give a quick overview on some of the Guardians and how they work and what's cool about them, and then we'll actually just play with Weblin and the Grizzler. So let me just spin this table around.
Sure. Since we're playing Weblin or whatever, I would say we should do that one last.
Sure. Well, why don't we start with Saboso then? Because he's sort of the new version here. Do you want me to go through him, or you want to keep rolling?
It doesn't matter. You go.
So Saboso, let me see. We have where the rest of the boards. I think the board's here. He's in here somewhere. So Saboso is this gigantic snow beast. Obviously, right, we're in the mountains, and you can see. I'll talk about these abilities, but his big thing is he's got this cell in his chest, and he's capturing bears and foxen and taking them and saving them for dinner. And so, again, for those who aren't familiar with Skulk Hollow, we're going to jump off the board and be trying to disable abilities. And in order to take out an ability, you have to take out all of the areas that have that name. So for Pound, you'd have to take out both these spots, but for Whack or Trap, it's just the one that's listed there. But basically, what Saboso is about, he has 4 hand and 3 actions. So he's pretty mobile. He takes a lot of actions per turn, but what he's trying to do is either kill the heroes, the foxes, or the bears, or trap 4 in his chest. And if he does that, he wins. And once you're in his chest, you can't leave. So the way Saboso works is he's got this Pound ability, which actually, let's start with Howl. He has this Howl ability that essentially lets him stun heroes surrounding him. So, like, do we have Saboso? Here he is. So if he's here and we have a Foxen here, we don't have any stun tokens out at the moment, but if he were to Howl, this Foxen is stunned, or bear, excuse me, this Grizzar is stunned. And so this Grizzar essentially can't has a stun token underneath him until the end of the Grizzard's next turn, so is essentially immobilized. However, when stunned, Pound will do a damage to every stunned unit. Pound will also do a damage to a unit in your spot. But then Trap lets you pick up a unit that's stunned and put him in your chest. So basically, Saboso is trying to stun units and pick them up and pull them off the board permanently. The other thing that he can do, which is sort of neat, is a whack, which is knock a bear off of his body or a foxen. And it works a little like Grax throw, but in addition to knocking them off, if you throw that bear into another unit, you'll stun one of them. So it's just another way to sort of combo that ability. So he's pretty much like Howl and Pound. Like he comes out, he's aggressive, he's looking to clear the board, and players need to move around him and try to fight pretty hard. Keith, anything you want to add on the Saboso?
No, that's pretty good.
All right. So that's Saboso. Normally, I would probably explain Weblin next, but we'll do that last. So then we can go to Quagra. Yeah. So Quagra here, and let me just go to the meeple for a second because it's awesome. This is the Quagra meeple. That's not a good way to look at it. That's a pretty good way to look at it. This thing's awesome. But Quagra is the Mind Lizard. That was the initial name for the Mind Lizard, they have a really interesting layout here. So the core here, unlike abilities on other units, doesn't have any value in the sense of the core doesn't have a thing that he can cast core. There's no core action, but you cannot go up into any of the heads, all of which are a different ability, without clearing the core. Essentially, that's what these locks are. So to sort of proceed, you have to take out the core. Where in a lot of the other characters with the rogue or with other things, you're going to bounce around and try to take out abilities when you want. You're sort of forced to climb the mountain here with Quagra. And then he has these 4 very different abilities. And essentially, I like to think of this guy as the black magic deck of the game. Basically what's happening, if I go back to that other board here, is so first he has this compel. And this can move a hero unit from any ground space onto its surrounding ground spaces or from a location on Quagra to the ground. So it's a way of getting a unit off of you, but also you can start moving Foxen and moving Grizzard on the board. Your mind, you're penetrating their brains and you're just saying, let's walk. And they're like, okay. And part of that is if units are all together in the same group, you can go to Sabotage. And the way Sabotage works is all, as you can see here, essentially the units all start, all units banded with another unit. So all units in the same place, if you sabotage them, they all start attacking each other and do damage to each other, which is pretty awesome. That's sort of one aspect of this guy. The other aspect of this guy is card denial and confusion. So basically, if you use extract, you force the hero player to discard a random card for each hero unit in Quagra's ground space. So Quagra wants to group units up and then extract. And what ends up happening is they discard cards from their hand, but also get these confusion cards. And they look like bear cards, but if we flip them over, whoop, these are confusion cards. And confusion card does nothing. It's just it's like a deck builder with a bad card in your hand. But if you spend an action, you can return any in your hand to me.
Right, the hero player can get rid of them.
Yeah. So why is that important? That's important because if I get rid of all 8 of these confusion cards, I put these all in your head, you go insane and can no longer, I win. You all go crazy. So they're both disruptive to play because you're drawing dud cards, but if I can get you 8 dud cards, I win. And then also the last ability is confusion, is I just put dud cards into your discard pile. And actually Quagra has like a confuse 2, which is pretty powerful in here somewhere. Okay. So that's Quagra. I will keep rolling.
Yeah.
But were there any questions or things I should stop at before I keep plowing ahead here?
I mean, Quagra has a couple locations that can't be targeted by missile weapons, which is kind of cool. I mean, we did some of that in Maul Peak. I mean, in Skull Hollow,
With a
but
Poda, yeah.
but the two actions that both add confusion cards to the opponent are can't be hit by missile attacks, which includes magic for the Gazar. So, yeah. So basically, you got to climb this guy, and you got to kind of there's kind of a specific path to a lot of the stuff, which is some guardians like you kind of want to stay back a little bit from. This is definitely one where you got to get people up on there to start if you want to win. So definitely leaps are a big deal against this guy because you got to be able to jump all over that guy. So
actually, speaking of which, and because my jaw hurts a little from all the talking today, let's I will go into the next turn. But actually, you didn't explain you explained a couple of, but not all of the bears. You mentioned
sure. I'll give your jaw a rest and run on through these guys. So obviously we're starting with the chieftain on the board. Chieftain can play a magic action to summon the spirit animal to the chieftain's ground space. Now that has two implications. One is like, hey, the spirit animal's over there. I want him to be banded or something, or maybe I want to remove his banding from somebody else because Quagra is about to try to extract or something. I can use a magic to pull him back, but it also means, correct me if I'm wrong here, Ed, because we've gone back and forth on this.
No, it means what you're about to say.
Okay, that if the spirit animal has been eliminated, we can bring him back into play. So this is the one way in which a unit of the Grzar can actually come back into play. And the only one that can do that is the spirit animal, and the only person that can pull it off is the chieftain. So that's cool. I mean, the chieftain has like 4 hit points, which is more than any unit in the Foxen. So they're definitely, this guy's beefy for sure.
And you can't you have to pick your spirit animal, that connection at the start. This is not like use that ability and pick from the 6 every time. You basically, if we're going with the snow hare here, that's who we got. All right, let's keep rolling.
The elder we talked about briefly, but she can use rage as these are all kind of free act. Or the rage cost to do the spirit animal action is reduced by 1. So right now, the snow hare can use this imbue to spend 2 rage to draw 2 cards. Now you can just use 1 rage to draw 2 cards. So definitely the elder is helping amp up your spirit animal quite a bit, but she only has 2 hit points, and so she's a little squishy, but she's all right. Moving on to the shaman we talked about briefly, but you can play a magic action to gain 3 rage. So that rage is like helping you get more characters out on the board. That's helping you use your spirit animal. So he's kind of like the money maker. The shaman shows up and is kicking off some more rage for you, and also only has 2 hit points. The barbarian is pretty nice because leaping is a big thing in this game. Especially with some of these monsters, these guardians that like require more leaping. Whereas in like with the Foxen, you had the road that could really kind of jump wherever they wanted. So like you could kind of spare some of those leap actions. Here you don't really have that particular action. So the barbarian is going to come in, and whenever he hacks away at a space on the guardian, he can kind of do a jump to the next thing. So he's kind of like a attack jump, and then you do that multiple times, and you can have like a lot of economy in terms of your actions. So and 3 hit points on that guy, so he's a little beefy, but he costs 3 to spawn. Moving on to the assassin. So the assassin is probably my favorite of the Grzar. So he's kind of the opposite of the barbarian, where he gets a free melee action every time he leaps. So like you jump on and he's going to hack away. So it's got a different feel to it, because like it's got that punctuation of doing damage at the end, whereas in the barbarian it's kind of like do the damage and then hopefully I'll get an opportunity to attack again after I leap. Here, like the assassin is the exclamation point of the act with the extra attack at the end. So that's kind of fun.
And he's super powerful. That's why even 2 hit points, he's 4 rage.
Right. He's
but we'll keep rolling.
Yeah. And then finally the mage we talked about a little bit, but you can use a magic action to do a point of damage anywhere on the guardian. So that mage comes out, unless you have locations that aren't that you can't attack with ranged attacks, like on Quagra. If the mage gets out, you look out. The guardian should probably do their best to get rid of that guy as fast as they can. But
right, for sure. Okay. We will. Oh, and one other thing we didn't mention is I think it should appear.
There's the leap action.
There's
so
the leap.
whenever you're with the Grizzar and you do a leap, if you spend a rage, you can immediately do a second leap.
Right. So they have
which is especially with the assassin is pretty brutal.
Yeah. But you can't climb, attack. It has to be a direct link to that leap action.
Right.
But still pretty devastating.
Right.
Okay. So swinging back around, Tabletopia. Okay. 2 more. So we then have Trovac and Gnarl. Now, this is the most robust character, and generally, like in some ways, Maul Peak really is like, hey, you really want an amazing asymmetric 2-player game? Play Skull Hollow. This is on top of Skull Hollow, right? This is really leveraging and playing on a lot of the dynamics, and so there's a little bit of, you can learn it from the ground up. This can be your first version of the 2 games, right. But definitely Trovac and Gnarl is a 3-star complicated character, but super cool characters. And so, like Raptra from the Skull Hollow game, they actually have that's pleasant. They actually have their own secondary card with some additional rules. But basically, the way these are working is you have 2 units, 2 cool, gigantic. We don't have the meeples yet, but when we play test, we use these 2. And the way they work is essentially you have Trovac standing here, and then the characters are all moving in different directions. So actually, this is the first Guardian where the Guardian player can move both. And as Keith brought up here, that's fine. Just let it hang. They are next to each other, but they actually have 2 different tracks. One is the one over here on the left, up the staff to Trovac, and the other is up the leg onto Gnarl. And so they're bouncing around and moving around on their own, and effectively the bear or Grizzar or Fox need to kill both of them. But essentially, Gnarl is awesome. Like, Gnarl is running around, and I can show you their cards, but basically they're like multiple movements on each card. But Gnarl has Rush. Move Gnarl to any occupied surrounding ground space and inflict 1 wound to all units in the ground space. Just dives in and just starts all heads biting, destroying whatever's in there. It's super aggressive. Right. Rush is interesting because it's actually by head. So there are 3 rushes in the deck, but they each are disabled individually, which allows for some tactical play from the Grizzar or small folk side. But so you have that massive attack, and then you have Shake, which is remove units from you. Trovac is sort of supporting in that she has inflict 1 wound to any unit in Gnarl's ground space. So like command kill, like attack.
Right.
Gnarl bites. You have wind blast, which removes a unit from you or Gnarl. And then you have beckon, which calls Gnarl back to you. So this is a lot of Gnarl attacking and then getting called back and some positioning. So it's a really dynamic Guardian position. The other neat thing, though, is the win condition for Trovac and Gnarl is you're collecting power, like the power in Skull Hollow, but you have to assign it individually. And when it gets used, it goes to this power track. And so effectively, you're trying to cycle power through your character. Couple notes. There aren't any power cards in the deck. You're not getting power by drawing it. The way the 2 of them get power is by meeting up. So if they're together, they get it. But if Gnarl moves here and then Trovac follows and they sort of group up, you get a power. And so essentially it's this interesting dynamic and push-pull. And great job, Keith, by the way, of sending the unit out, but then wanting to bring them back together and beckoning back. And then if one of them gets knocked down, the other one can come in and try to heal him and mend. And if they do, he stands back up. And it's just super cool. It's really a blast to play. So it's just, there's a couple more steps to this character than some of the other ones. So we are going to set Trovac and Gnarl aside. And generally speaking, there's still some fine-tuned playtesting, but for the most part, the good news is we're really happy with this game. It's the most of the work right now is finishing up the art and the graphic design and doing all the copy editing and making sure the rules are tight and playtesting. But this has gone through a lot of iteration, and actually, big shout out to Justin DeBaker, who has been doing a ton of playtesting with us amongst with other folks, which has been awesome. Okay, Weblin, the spider, the ice spider, this guy. So Weblin is pretty cool. So I have Weblin. Weblin starts with 2 web tokens, and there's more of them, but only 2 on the board right now. And I'll talk about spawning, but basically the way web tokens is if a unit enters a space or is put into a space with a web token, they can attack it. A web token can be attacked like, what's that guy called? Tanthos Root, right? You can attack it with a missile or melee.
Yep.
But if you don't attack it and you leave, not jump up onto the Guardian, but you leave the spot, you have to discard a card. So, and that's per web token. So you basically are fighting to get out of here. So if he's in a spot, the chieftain, and wants to leave here without actually attacking these, you need to discard 2 cards, which is a lot.
Right. It's just really annoying. It's like if you only have a hand of 4 or 5 cards and half of them just got discarded, it slows you down for sure and potentially screws up your plan. So it's like they're there to be annoying. And so it's like, does that player want to spend the time and the action to get rid of that stuff, to get rid of the annoyance, which might create some opportunities for the Guardian player to kind of open up a can on you a little bit. But so that's kind of the interesting balance, right? Of like, these things aren't super bad, but they're annoying. So do you want to deal with them or not? It depends if it's worth your time.
And it gives that thematic web feel.
Right.
The other thing that's happening is my win condition, other than just killing you, is if I ever get 3 units stuck in my lair, I win. So these become really expensive if they're sort of forcing you to discard cards to get out, and ends up making you sort of stuck in there. And which I think, if I'm looking here, we need to make sure that rule is on here because I think I'm not seeing it. So we'll get back to that for another time. Okay, but what does Weblin do? So Veblen with webs, Veb, has bite, which inflicts 1 wound to any unit, or 2 wounds if there's a token. So that's a pretty big chomp. Not necessarily on a chieftain, but on a lot of the fox and leaders, it's devastating. But so if I bite and there's a web on the ground and you're sort of stuck, I take 2 damage instead of 1, which again is pretty intense. And Veblen has 5 cards and 3 actions, so I'm going to be moving around. Spin, place a web token in any surrounding ground space, no big deal. Weave, move a unit from a surrounding ground space with a web token to the layer space. So hey, you're not dealing with these webs. I could say like I was in this situation, I could double weave if I have the cards and instantly move these 2 here and win. So that's the challenge there. The other super neat thing about Veblen is Mystify. So the way Mystify works, which can't be targeted by abilities, we need to add that icon here, is I steal a power or a rage from the opposing player, and then I get that in my pool for power. So this is a really powerful way to sort of suppress some power grains, especially the bears get a lot of rage, but especially versus Foxen, it can be pretty oppressive to like be afraid to get power. But even with bears, you don't want to like rage hanging out. And so I can take that and then use it. It works the same way as power in the Skull Hollow, where effectively it's any action, any movement you want. And then Skitter is remove. These are not labeled correctly. We'll want to fix that. But you move Weblin away, and you can remove a character on top of them. And you have to move to a spot with a web token if possible, or you just stay. That's really the long and the short. And again, as I'll just note, because I noticed that these two abilities are mispositioned. You know, we're pulling all this together, and a lot of people have been working hard to get it pulled together. But rest assured that we will have this all very well laid out and sorted by release. So I believe you were going to play bears. Am I correct there?
I thought I was going to play the.
All right, I'll flip around. Again, in this game, you go first. I'm picking the snow hare. Spend 2 rage to get 2 cards. I start with 2 rage in that here, but not. But you go first.
Right, and I have a hand of 5.
Yeah, I have a hand of 4.
Yeah.
Not deal. Don't use deal. Use draw.
Yeah. Oh man, all these great options. So I have my 5 cards, and let's get this party started. So I get 3 actions. So first action, I will play this card and use the slant right, and then for my second action.
Not played Skull Hollow. These are dual action cards. The divider is splitting 2 different actions, and you get to pick one. The movement is all oriented on the diagonal, which we're facing. So a card like I have, like a slant left or right, is you're gonna like be looking this way or this way. Keep rocking, Keith.
All right, and then we're gonna play this one for a weave. So we're gonna throw that in the middle. A little bit of fun, and then for my third action, I'll play this one and do a second weave, and I'll put that one in my lair space.
Oh, expensive to move there.
So that's the end of my actions. I draw up to 5, so I draw 3 cards. And then
another note, which you can see here, if you take out either of the skitter locations, Keith's hand size will drop down by 1. His maximum hand, not maximum, but like his the hand size is you always draw up to your hand size, or if you're at it, you get 1 more, or at it or above, you get 1 more. So the smaller that is, the less he'll get each turn.
Right.
All right. So is it my turn?
Yes, sir.
All right. So what am I going to do here? I guess I'm going to play this. I'm going to take 2 rage. In my bottom pool, rage works like power in that it cycles. What did I do? Did I do something wrong?
No, you paid your 2 rage.
No, yeah, I have 2 rage, and I'm using this action to gain 2 more.
Yep.
Okay. So, and then I will pay 1 of the rage here, and I will summon my elder.
And the spawning rules are the same as Skull Hollow.
Summon my elder here, and I think now that my elder's out, my draw 2 cards is now cost 1. So I will spend my second rage to draw 2 into my hand. And then that was my first action was this rage. Second action was the summon. Third, no. I have 1 more action because that doesn't count. And with my last action, I will intensify. So I'm going to discard this card and get a third. And my turn ends. I have 4 cards, which means I only get 1 more. And then I can move this rage up. And if he has a Mystify, he can take 1. We will get there in a second. All right, your turn, sir.
All right. Okay. So the question is, it's always, what cards do I have? So
well, I don't, and you shouldn't cheat by looking at my hand, sir.
I can't see you. I can see your hand. I'll try not to. Well, it doesn't really affect me a whole lot, to be honest, because I don't. Sometimes at the very end of the game, it's like super helpful to know if you have that 1 card that's going to end the game or not. But I will be an honest individual and not card. Okay. So, can I do this? Can I do this? Can I do this? Probably not.
These decks
Right,
aren't
well,
set. We're just playing. We're playing for reals here.
yeah. I'm stealing one of your things, so that's gonna go over. I think it says over here, right? Into my pool. Yep. So I don't have access to it this turn, but I'll have access to
You
it
have
next.
it next.
And then, well, and bite is only on my ground space, right? So that's not gonna do a whole lot of good. And what is this one? All right, I'm gonna discard a card and draw 2.
Yeah, so the Guardians have prepare like similar to the Guardians in Skull Hollow.
Right. And then I'm gonna play this guy to move to the slant left. And then I draw, because I have 4, I just draw 1. And that's the end of my go. This moves up to the ready position.
All right. So start of my turn, I've got 2 rage, which would be enough for the Shaman if I want to bring him into play, or I could just go bonkers and draw a bunch of cards. Generally speaking, there's a token underneath you, right? Okay. So I'd have to go this action, this action, to this action just to get on you. That's a pretty big amount of stuff.
You should do it.
Yeah, I should do it. So I'm going to right with my chieftain, left into your ground spot. Leaping does not count as does not get impacted by those web tokens. So I can leap up and land here. And so basically, for those watching, I'm following these lines up. And so
you might note that there's a separation across his body, right?
Yeah. So one side gets the sort of mystify spin line, and the other side gets the skitter weave bite. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pay one of those rage. I'll go back, but I'm going to go up and take this leap so that I'm now on mystify.
So you connect from skitter to bite. Is there a connection from skitter?
Yeah. No. So on the right side, it's skitter, mystify, spin. And on the left side, it's skitter, weave, bite. This doesn't have.
I see it now.
This is a Tabletopia of white blowout. It's not.
Yeah.
But okay. But so I'm there. Now that did cost me a rage. So that sort of takes me out of the running to summon. But because of the way the whole economy works on the redrawing of the cards, I'm actually just going to discard a card for 1 more rage and then draw 3 to refill my hand. And that will be my turn. Ooh, look at that, everybody. All right, your turn.
Does that include me or no?
No, you're not everybody.
So I feel like I am. Okay, so I don't want that chieftain on me. So we are going to skitter that dude off. So skitter is going to move 1 unit from Veblen to Veblen's ground space, then move Veblen to any ground space with a web token. So, oops, wrong piece. So this guy is coming off, and then I have to move here.
Yes, you have to retreat if you can to a web spot.
And then for my second, I'm going to use a free action to move forward 1 space.
Hey, welcome back.
And then I have 2 more actions, and they are both going to be bites.
Ooh.
Bite.
Bite. Brutal. Chieftain just got bit.
So that does 4 points of damage because the web is there. And the chieftain is gone and will never come back.
And actually, this is there's an updated den we'll have, which will have a little graveyard in it. But so that was rough. That hurt.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? Back to me.
I draw my 3 cards.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's fine. I just want to verbalize what I'm doing.
All right. So first up, let's get this rage going. All right. So let's go 1, 2, 3. What do I want to do here? What do I want to do? I'm feeling hurt. That hurt, sir. really
I mean,
hurt.
if I can kill your spirit animal and your elder, you lose. So you might want to consider getting somebody else on the board.
Yeah, I might, but then I might not. I can only bring in the shaman, but I might as well, because I think you're right in terms of the urgency. Not a good start for bears here. That I think I might have misplayed being so aggressive. That whole next time you say, yeah, you should do that, I probably shouldn't.
Right.
I think that means don't. And then actually, I'm feeling a little. I'm gonna do a little of this for 2 rage, if I can. And then you will get one of these if you get a Mystify, but you will not get both. I will have stuff. I will draw 3. It's your turn.
So I don't know if we mentioned this before, but on the Grizzar side, summoning a unit is a free action.
Yes.
Which is a pretty significant thing. So I do have a Mystify, which I'd like to use.
And if I think I've been playing that way, but I might have used it as an action. I don't think so, but go ahead. Shouldn't have if I did.
You can move your rage into your active box if you want.
Yeah, sure, because it's no longer yours. Thank you.
I'm going to discard a card to draw 2. So that means I got to shuffle.
And that means you have to figure out how to sort and shuffle your cards in Tabletopia, which is.
I know what I'm doing around here. I'm no
You're pro. You're pro. Pro.
All right. And then, oh my goodness. Do I want to do this? This seems like a horrible idea, but I might do it.
You want to walk forward? Is that what you're going to do? You can walk forward. Walk forward. Do it.
I could, but it seems like a foolish idea as well. I am going.
Or don't do it. Or do it.
So I mystified. I drew. I've got one more action left, and I'm going to mystify again.
Oh, wait.
You can't. I'm going to deny you.
Can you mystify again? You can't. You can, but you won't get it. Right. You're just stealing rage from me.
I'm basically saying, like, I don't want you to be able to summon the assassin this turn.
Pretty expensive, dude.
I told you it was crazy.
That was a bold move. All right, are you done?
Yeah, I just got to draw 1 card, but yeah.
All right. So back to me. This elder is just sick of your crap. All right, sick of it. So elder, we're going to walk forward. First action, leap. Second action, and that leap is going to land on, I don't know, which skitter. I sort of don't like that bite. Mystify's a pain.
I only have 2 Mystifies in the deck, and I already played one of them. So
now you're advising. Don't advise. Okay, I'm going to go over to this side, and then I'm going to play my double melee to just get on the board here. Oh wait, no, I need the green ones. Hold on, sorry.
Yeah,
because you're filled with green goo. 1, 2. So your hand limit, he doesn't have to discard down. It's more when he gets more. So that was that. Now, just to clarify, I can't use the rage to leap now. That's because I'm not able to. I was able to do it for the purpose of, like, if I had leaped and I wanted to take. Oh, do I want to do that? Would I rather just get bite? Yeah, I'm going to say I'd rather just get bite for the purpose of learning. Actually, what I did. Oh no, I don't want to do that because I need that barbarian bad. All right, never mind. I'm going to stick it. But had I spent a rage, I could have doubled my leap to here and then done the attack. But I'm not going to do that. For better or for worse, I'm going to spend these 3 rage. And get my barbarian. Do I want to like mix it up? And yeah, probably. Put him over here. Summoning works exactly like Skull Hollow, where it's these 3 tiles, unless a guardian's there, and then you can't go on it. And I draw up to 4. Your turn.
All right, so this is going to look very familiar.
And I have to start putting this deck together. Hold on. If you're going to like do some, are you going to do the same shit and kill it? Excuse my language, man.
Skitter, jump back.
I should have went and got the bite, man.
Move forward. And then I'll bite you because and that makes your elder deceased.
Man,
No
I'm
respect for the elders.
no, I'm hurting. I am. You are successfully trolling me into stupid moves. You're a
So I
super.
guess the question is,
You're out of. That was all. That was your turn, though, right?
I got a power cube over here, so I'm debating whether I want to use it or not. But you know what? You go ahead. But I only draw 2 cards because my hand limit is decreased by 1 because one of my skitter locations are cut down.
Take it. All right, back to me. I'm going to draw 2 rage, which is down here. Can't use it yet. And then I'm gonna get on the rage train.
Rage train.
Rage train. Your turn.
Oh man. Well, what does this say? Okay, so I'm gonna spin with that hometown. We'll put it over here, and then we'll second action. We'll weave that dude back to my lair. Free action. Spin, and then I'm gonna weave and put him over here. That is the end of my go, sir.
Yeah.
You have 2 guys dangerously in the lair.
Yeah. Rule clarification, which was on the. Wait, you said I have 2 in the lair. I have 1. Oh, him. Okay. I believe, because we have to make sure it gets on this card. It was on a special place, and I'm not seeing it there. If I want to, if I leave a web space, I have to discard a card. If I don't have any cards in my hand, am I restricted from movement, or
no,
do I
discard as many?
Okay, just checking. All right, so I can play it that way. How do I want to play it? I definitely need to deal with a situation. That's for sure. And I guess if I deal with the situation, I can only deal with it once. Yeah, I'm in trouble. I have not been playing this game well, folks. I am not playing this game well at all. All right, so that's three of these. 1, 2. I knew you were, man. You. All right. I'm sorry, Anna Maria. I have not been helping myself here. Okay, so I've got 2 actions. I can summon for free, which I do want to do.
What was your first action was to get 3 rage? Okay.
And you don't have a mystify, which is good.
I could.
Oh, but you don't have a token sitting around.
Oh, right.
I think I need to bring my dude in. So that I might have paid an action on the summon earlier, but we're gonna forget that happened. Okay. So bring him in.
We have a video documentation of it, so you can review it later.
I can find out if I messed up. All right. So for my first action was the rage. This was not an action. This was just spending to summon.
Right.
My second action is axe. I'm going to get rid of this. And my last action is I'm going to play this. Is this one I want to do? No, I'm going to use this one to move. I don't know, my barbarian. I'm going to sneeze. Out, which means I have to discard this card.
I think that means you got to go to this position.
No. Why?
Look at the orientation of the arrows on your card there, boss.
Hold on a second. I was here like this. Yeah? We looking at the same thing?
I'm looking at the card in your hand.
No, I'm not using that card.
Oh, sorry.
I was
Right.
Stop cheating, dude.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so but I discard this card, which I don't have.
Right.
However, that doesn't impact me from being able to draw 4 cards because I'm done.
Okay.
It's your turn.
Okay. So, how much do I care about this stuff? Where's your purple guy card? Oh, I'm moving it.
Thank you.
Do I care about that card? All right, I'm just gonna move and double bite. So that does 2 points of damage, and that kills your assassin, sir. You don't even like that guy, so that's fine.
I do. I don't like him as much as you, but I am. This is Pain City, man. This is just, which isn't normally, I'm playing poorly.
Probably, yeah. Your record against me is probably like 3-1. You probably beat me three times more than I beat.
Not on camera. I
was saving it for today.
Okay, I'm gonna get to these for 1. Second action. Third action. And that was my third action. Your turn.
Keep in mind, this ability to activate the Snow Hare's ability is free. I don't know if you're saying.
Why are you saying it's free?
It's not. It doesn't cost an action.
Yeah. Well, I want the 5. I mean, when you steal a rage from me, I'll take care of that for you. All right, your turn.
All right. Well, I will steal a rage from you.
Sure, thanks. Now I can't afford it, but it's fine.
Turn. Didn't we kill this guy? Yeah, this guy's dead.
Sure. He was hiding behind you.
Yeah. Where's your gray guy? Oh, he's on me.
Yeah, dude.
Is he on Mystify?
No, man. He's on Skitter. Oh. I guess I could have. No, I'm fine. I mean, I don't want to waste rage with you just knocking him into the ground.
All right. Well,
what I should be doing. Okay, one of the things I've messed up this game is I've completely ignored my shaman. That was a mistake this game. I should have been generating extra rage. But anyway, whatever. I get. So right now we've been playing, we've been going through a matrix of all of the Guardians versus the Foxen. And I'm bare rusty. All right, let's.
Yeah. So I'm going to skitter you.
Sure. So where are you bound?
Second action. You get bounced, and I will go here.
Yeah.
And then for my last trick, I will web you up with a spin. So then I draw 3, and I'm done. Oops.
All right. Well, before the game's over, let me at least do one channel, because why not? So I channeled for my first. No, that's I used the magic that counts as an action and the channel. If I do that, you're gonna take a card from me. There is a web token over there. I can kill the web token, and then you don't. All right, whatever. I'm gonna take out the web token here. What do I want to do? I'm going to go for the route of getting the power. Okay, Your turn. And I need to draw these. Ooh, and give me a second to reload my stuff here. Though again, poor performance from me.
Oh, geez. Okay, so we're going to. What do we want to? What did I just do? I put that card. I'm trying to put it in my hand. All right. So can I seal the deal this turn?
Can't actually win, can you? I don't think so. Maybe.
If I had,
You'd need.
I'm one card. I have all but one card.
Oh.
So I could have, if I had 2 bites, or sorry, 2 weaves and a spin or something.
Oh, sure.
I can end it.
But you don't. So get on with it, sir.
All right. Well, let's get rid of the stupid little rabbit. We're gonna bite that guy.
I like that guy.
Well, your elder can bring him back.
Note, I can't use the ability now. So that was something if I'd wanted to do, I probably should have. All right. Boop.
And then for my last trick, we'll do a spin and throw this web token back down next to the barbarian.
Yeah, this was an oppressive loss.
It's not over yet.
No, it's not, but it sucks. All right. My turn?
Yep.
All of that cool power I was going to use can't. It's fucking great. Excuse my language. It's great. So what do I want to do here? Well, might as well summon this guy, and I think I want to group them. So let me get rid of some of this excess rage here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rage there. Okay. Cool. So that didn't count as anything. Action 1, no action yet. Action 1, let's get rid of this thing. Okay. Is that crazy? Is it correct that you can't web where you are?
That's correct. My web, it has to be surrounding ground space.
Well, that's interesting. All right, cool. I'm gonna do craziness, and I'm going to move both these guys into your spot. And I'm done.
Is that it?
I think so. I attacked, move to move. That's 3.
Yep. Well, how does this work?
You gotta go.
I'm gonna move over here.
I don't know. You're gonna move somewhere.
And then I'm going to spin. And then I'm going to use this thing to bounce this guy over here. And then for my last action, I'm going to mystify. Give me that. That is the end of my go. So, how many of those magic cards do you have?
I don't know. I'm gonna triple axe. Get rid of all these things. And I'm going to move out of here. Like this. I'm going to draw.
You destroyed my nest.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. This has been a bad game for me. It's been a long day. I feel like part of me is like, I'm going to win this, but like, I don't know. It's pretty rough. But go ahead.
All right. Well, The only people. Okay, those are the only guys left on the board.
By the way, has anyone asked any questions? Because I'm just like totally engrossed in what's going on here.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody. We've been playing and not reading. There's a lot.
Grifted obviously was saying, our good friend, the developer, says chieftain summon spirit animal. That's already in the circumvent when token penalty. I don't understand what he means by that. So.
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. It's a good question, actually. That's a nice corner case. We should get that. If
Right.
I have a spirit token in your web, if I were to move him out, I would pay that penalty. But what happens if I summon him out? That's what he's probably asking about.
Right. I assume the answer is thematically. I would say no, because he's like basically like teleporting him. You can't get stuck on webs when you're being teleported.
I would agree with your thematic interpretation.
All right, let's time to get serious.
We are at 5 over. Let's rock. Do your work.
Well, I'm a little bit of retreat action, and I'm gonna kind of undo some of the work that you did here. I messed up. Whatever. We're gonna keep him back in here.
Jesus, man.
That is my go, and I'm just gonna plan for next turn.
Okay. I'm going to move horizontal. I'm going to leap up to here. Actually, I'll leap up to here to weave.
So you gotta pay rage for that.
Pay rage. And then I will fireball. Bite.
Okay.
Your turn.
We're gonna gain ground and move into the lair, and then we're gonna bite your shaman, and he's gonna be dead.
Yeah.
One action left.
He didn't really do it for me.
We're gonna skitter that guy off. Get off, brah. Into the lair, which is a nice place for him to be. And I'm gonna go here.
Cool. I'm gonna leap onto Skitter on this side. I'm going to melee, and I'm going to magic. And I'm going. This is what the bears are supposed to be doing. This is what it should have been like ages ago. Actually, I'm gonna use my rage to have leaped him to mystify. That rage, and then I'm gonna like I jumped up your leg to your back. I stab you in the whatever that is on a spider, the butt, and I turn around and I fireball back abdomen, and I fireball backwards. No, and then I fireball bite. That's what I'm doing. What's going on, Keith? Tide changed.
I don't know what you're doing.
I'm trying.
I just don't know.
I'm trying is what I'm doing.
I appreciate the effort.
Don't count the Grizzar out. See how I nullified your win condition.
Well, you only have 2 guys alive. I can't even use that win condition anymore.
That's what I'm saying. That was the plan.
right. If I just get down to 2 guys, then he'll never win that way. That's true. That's true. All right. So I can still skitter you off.
Right now, you can still skitter me off. Yes, you can.
I guess I have to use my power token to do that. No. I guess I'll do.
Poorly and had some damage on this guy earlier. He hasn't been using men's because he hasn't needed to. So you skittered.
Yep, and then I'm going to do gain ground.
Okay. Back.
And then I'm going to use mend.
Yep.
And then bite.
For 2. Which
He's
doesn't
not
kill.
dead yet, folks.
Not dead yet. Not dead yet. Back to me. So what do I want to do here? I don't know what I want to do. Well, you don't have that extra power anymore, which is nice. I'm going to jump up.
Sure. You got your double attack card? No.
No, but I'm going to smack you. I'm going to smack you on Skitter.
Yep. That's a good idea.
Back to you. It's fun that Justin's watching.
Right, he's like, yeah. Man, okay. So now I'm in a rough spot. I'm gonna discard and draw 2. And then what makes sense? I guess I'm gonna go this way. And then I'm gonna discard and draw 2 for my 3rd action. And then I draw 1 because I'm over my limit.
You should only hold on. Yeah, because you're over your limit. Sure. You're right. All right. My turn. Got some interesting actions. I'm always reluctant to do the intensify for 1 card, but I might want to. I'm not going to do it, despite me feeling like it's probably the right call. Justin's like shaking his head. He's like, "What are you doing, Ed?" Your turn, Keith.
You moved him? Yeah, with your okay. Well.
And if you were looking at Keith's camera, you'd be looking at like this. It's Keith's view.
I don't know.
At least it wasn't just like a devastating, pathetic loss. I feel like I at least came back at the end with a little bit.
I could still definitely lose. So like when it comes to Skull Hollow and Maul Peak, like sometimes it's just not over till it's over. Like things can swing with a bad, like use the ones you really needed, or you get some critical move. And this sounds crazy, but I'm gonna discard a card and draw 2.
Wow, there's no cards left in your deck.
I know.
You have 2 actions.
I have 2 left. Yeah. So, this is a tough card. Mend Mystify on the same card. I guess I'm mending Mystify. I have 1 action left. Am I playing? I'm gonna. Oh man, I should have healed Skitter so I could get you off me, but
you didn't. I'm not. No, we're going, man. This is
all right. I'm gonna play this, and I'm just gonna put this in here.
That's actually annoying. All right, back to me. We're gonna keep this simple. I'm gonna give myself 3 rage because I could use some leap assistance. And then I'm going to do 1 leap though, and go to here, and do 1 melee, and undo what you did. See how it feels. And I would love some specific cards. Maybe I got them. Maybe I didn't. Your turn.
All right. Well, we're gonna move over here, and we are going to bite your dude for 2.
Yep.
Does that kill him?
Nope.
Well, I'll bite him again.
All right.
It's just down to the Mage and the Veblen. This is it.
All right. So I'm going to leap. Back to me. Up to spin. I'm going to double melee and go here. 1, 2.
Those are supposed to be on spin or on.
Yeah, I'm just Tabletopia, man. And then I don't know which. If you drop me there, you can't. You would go to one of these two. Which are you gonna go to? I'm gonna. I don't know. I shouldn't have said that. I guess I'm gonna discard this card to draw. Do I want to do that? Guess I could get more rage, but it's not really worth anything right now. It doesn't matter. All right, your turn.
All right, I'm gonna draw 2 cards. There we go. There we go. Second action, we're gonna mend, skitter. Third action, we're going to skitter. Get off my back, brah. And then I'm gonna take some time. Take some time. Well, I guess. Well, you got some magic in there, and you're just gonna whoop it up on me. But how many? I have 4 spaces left.
Yes,
5?
you have 4 spaces.
5 spaces. I got skitters open. Skitter, bite, and then 2 leave.
3, 4.
Oh yeah, you're right. There's 4. Counting's hard, man. I believe that's the end of my go. I got cards. I healed, and then I skittered.
This is gonna end in your lair, man. So attack 1, magic, boom, bite. Attack 2, magic, boom, skitter. I'm then gonna just head on in. Come on, honey, let's take this on. And I will discard this. Your turn, sir. I don't have any cards, so I can figure this out.
Well, I guess we're just gonna.
What?
We're gonna move.
That was really weird. Hold on, I just grabbed like some really weird. Hold on, this is a little crazy. I don't know what the hell. I hate Tabletopia sometimes.
That's why I moved and then I double spun. So that's the end of my go.
All right, hold on. I gotta deal with it.
Gotta get organized, bro.
Dude, this is. I can't. Man. All right, hold on a second. Sorry. Delay of game.
You're gonna get a yellow card.
Basically I had this big stack of stuff I was getting rid of, and then it went into my hand, and then it was we're gonna.
I have a hand of 3 because both of my skitters are disabled and I'm down to 1 card.
It's really hard to do this. All right. When if I have an extra card, I'll discard it. I'm not sure what's in here. All right. Draw 4 cards. Those were all cards, not the ones I want. All right. So I'm in your lair, right away from death. You don't have that. You could heal bite. Could you? Okay. So you've got 3 actions. So you could heal the bite, move in, and bite. So that would win. So what do I need to do? I need to, first action is discard this card and draw this card. I like that one better. Does that change what I'm going to do? No. Okay, let's see what happens. Second action, I'm moving here. Are these random or by my choice?
What? The discard?
Starting of 2.
They're random.
Okay, pick 1, 2, or 3. Or pick 2. Pick 1, 2, and 3. Pick 2 of them.
3 and 1.
Jesus. All right. 3 and 1. I don't know why I said that, but I'm going to discard this one to draw this, and then I'm going to draw 3. All right, man. Do you have the card?
Whatever.
Done. No. This is on. You got it? You got it?
So you don't even know, bro. You have no idea. All right, I am going to heal or mend Mystify.
Okay.
And then I'm going to Mystify you.
Okay.
And it's going to feel so good.
Enjoy that power.
Give me the power. And then the third action, I'm going to draw 2. And then I draw 1 at the end of my turn. It's your turn, good sir.
One card short. If I had one different card, I'd beat you. Which is crazy to me. What a comeback. So with that, you move. This is up here. You are going to be able to mend your bite, move, and I have a single. So do I prolong? I have to prolong. How could I not prolong? All right. I'm going to blast, weave for 1. I'm going to not use this magic to attack, but actually go here. And then between these, I guess I will discard, draw 1, and then 2. Okay, your turn.
All right. Move.
Yep, that's 1.
I think I'm going to try to hold out for another turn.
Other trucker. All right, do it. Hold out.
1. I'm going to draw 2. And then I'm going to draw 2. This is it. I'm feeling good.
You're not where I want you, Keith. All right, so you're done. My turn. I'm going to discard 1 and draw 1. Oh, that's not what I need. I'm going to discard 1 and draw 1.
I want you to want.
Mystify though. Shit. All right, so yeah, all you need in your hand, because you can bite me. I can't get. Did I misplay that? No, I didn't have. I just drew the card that would let me get on top of you. So no, I didn't misplay that. It just sucks. All right. I think I lost, but go ahead.
Can I play it? yeah, you lost. All right, so we're gonna just move in
and bite.
Oh, you moved.
I did.
All right. Well, I gotta use a different card, but I've got.
As long as you have a bite in your hand, you won. You have a
yeah.
I have 1 hit point
Here, and then I'll mend with this, and then and that'll do it.
Wait, hold on. Did you have the card that would have moved you? Could there have been a tile I could have moved to that you wouldn't have been able to get to?
No, I had a gain ground.
All right. Well, I had
good game.
Doubles, fireball. Always persist.
Yeah, there was like 2 or 3 turns where I was like trying to get my 4 move turn set up. If you could have disrupted me there, you might have been able to pull it off.
I just at the beginning, and then like I had to get back in the groove, and by the time I did, it was over. Anyway, hopefully that was.
I enjoyed beating you.
Yeah, no, it's a wonderful feeling when you win, isn't it? But yeah, so anyway, this is Maul Peak. Every time I play, it is freaking awesome, and you'll have to check it out. The Weblin we've shared in the past has different abilities, so it's a little bit different than what we played, but it's coming along. More to come. At some point, we may even start doing more streams and make this a little bit more playable when it's further along. I'm going to actually stop screen sharing.
Sure.
Here, just so that.
You went offline.
No, I should be here. I know.
You left the game. You left. Tabletopia told me you went offline.
All right. I just did. All right. It doesn't look like I missed. Oh, there's actually a lot.
I think we're just chatting now.
Now everyone's just chatting. All right. Well, thanks for watching.
Thanks for playing. Thanks for being part of Pencil First Games Game Day, the first annual.
Yeah. So Tim gets a drink. There was a social media bet.
I did get some tactical advice from Tim during the game.
Oh, jeez.
He said, "Kill him."
Yeah.
So without that, I might not have been able to pull it off.
If you watch the last 15 minutes, it looked like a competition. If you watch the first 20, it looked like I was just terrible. So
getting the foam out.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll have to do this next weekend. All right. So anyway,
the great rematch.
You're done. This is little. I'm wearing a Thunderworks over here on top of the. Yeah. On top of the.
I wore my Pencil First sweatshirt like the last month almost straight, and I was like, I got to put this thing in the wash. So
Clearly, looking at you, you don't want to wear clothing too long. I mean, I get it.
what do you mean by that?
Look, we're starting to look like twinsies here. I got you put a pair of glasses on,
And I get some just for men.
Yeah, you get some just for men, and we're gonna look the same here. All right, man. I'm gonna go. We're having dinner, and I'm sure it's later for you. Talk to you later, man.
Good night.